Hi there, welcome to Out There with Dan. In this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts on folding fire pits like this one. This video will outline the typical components of this type of fire pit, and then we'll move on to the pros and cons, the meat of the video, and we'll get to the question of who are these fire pits best suited to, and are they a good fit for you? Fire has been a big part of our evolution, allowing warmth, light, and heat for cooking. No matter your cultural background, it's undeniable that a fire has a way of bringing people together and has an underpinning spirituality about the whole thing. When we go camping, we usually head back to basics. A fire fulfills the same role as it has in our past, plus it's a lot of fun. It is easy to get caught up on the details, but essentially these products are selling the experience of bringing people together around a campfire in a very convenient way. These fire pits are characterised by being durable and portable. They achieve this by being made of stainless steel, having this clever folding frame design and thin sheet metal construction, and also the hinged way they fold up makes them really portable. So just like this. See you later, guys. And I'm back. The main components that come in the kits with fire pits like this are the stand, which is the cross piece at the bottom, the base plate, which sits on top of the stand, and then the fire pit itself. They also offer versatility for cooking, with most brands including the grill bridge and grill within a kit, and they are awesome for camp ovens, tripods, braai grill baskets, and the like. They make camp cooking very convenient and can be lots of fun for weekend cooking at home as well. As popularity has grown, so have the accessories you can get. You can get tables that go all around four sides. There's an oven enclosure and a spit roasting enclosure for some of the brands. Those sorts of things are outside the scope of this video, but it's certainly worth mentioning. The fire pit is raised off the ground, and so it's a bit easier to huddle around. You don't have to hunch as much, and arguably you get less smoke in your face because it's higher above the ground and more's going above your head. That's obviously not happening right now. You can get different sizes to cater for the amount of people you've got. My perception is the large will suit most people. Because they're quite heavy still, the small ones, I don't think there's much advantage if you're going to carry it in the car anyway of having the smaller one. Perhaps if you've got a really small car, like a hatchback, like my wife and I used to camp in, maybe that's a good option. Or if you're perhaps physically not able to cart this around and move it around, perhaps the smaller fire pit is good enough. The pyramid shape, the holes in around the sides, and the gaps between the hinges allow this fire pit to burn wood very efficiently. Compared to being on the ground, you'll use less wood for the same experience. The other benefit to this is you will learn how much wood you need for a fire, and therefore you can plan the amount of wood you're burning much better, and also you can plan your trips better. And of course, if it doesn't burn as much wood, you're not carrying as much wood in your vehicle, you're saving money on fuel. The really good thing about having the different mounting options is that if you don't want to, you don't have to leave any trace that you've been there. If you continue your journey with my channel, you'll learn that sustainability and being responsible with Mother Nature is a really big priority for our family. If you're on the beach or in the bush, putting the fire pit just straight on the ground probably isn't going to be that much of a problem, because any ash that falls down, it's just going into the dirt or sand. If you've got sort of nice greenery or grass underneath, if you were to do that, you'll probably kill off a bit of vegetation underneath the fire pit. If you put the fire pit on the base plate on the ground and not have the legs, then you're probably going to smother with heat and smother the grass and you're probably going to do some damage as well. So really, if you want to leave no trace at all, the best option is to get one that has the base plate as well as the stand, and that's what I recommend. Related to what I've just said, many places you visit now will prohibit fires entirely unless you bring a fire pit. So basically no fires on the ground. If you want a fire, you've got to have a fire pit. And I totally agree with this increasing trend. It's really, really important, and I think it's a really good thing for our bush and our environment. Also, when you rock up to a communal campfire pit at a campsite or a national park, etc., often there'll be some stuff there in the bottom. You don't know what the person before you was trying to burn that perhaps they shouldn't have, and you may end up with harmful fumes that you're not even aware of. So by having this, you know that what you're burning is only wood, and you know that that's safer than whatever else could be left there by others. I've learnt when you go to a place and they say you've got to have fires in the fire pits provided, that if you've got one of these and you set up next door to right next to the existing fire pit, generally no one's going to ask questions. And once you've had one of these and you get used to how they work and how to build a fire on it, you're probably not going to want to be bothered going back to a communal fire pit. You're just going to want to use this thing. With one of these, you don't have to clear as large an area or dig a hole. And so in doing that, by having one of these, you don't have as much work each time you want to have a fire. For families with young kids, I think these are a really good tool. They can standardize and make the fire experience repeatable. So for example, the fire pit comes out, people know that we have our family ritual about our campfire experience, and you know the rules need to be followed, and it just makes for a really repeatable experience that's easy to teach kids. And in the coming years I look forward to proving this a little more. Our daughter now is only 18 months old, but I do think they can set up a good family culture. Despite all the pros I've discussed, there are several cons that should be considered. First of all, they weigh quite a bit, so they look very light, but once you have all the attachments, they're likely to be somewhere between 10 and 15 kilos in the car. So if you think of like a jerry can, you're almost in that kind of vicinity in weight. I guess if the alternative is having it on the ground, then you're basically adding weight to your vehicle, to your fuel bill, and whatnot. These fire pits aren't cheap, so in Australia, you're going to pay somewhere between $300 and $700 for a kit like I've got. And you know, when you're talking about the hole in the ground being the alternative, it is quite expensive and needs to be considered. The cost of something goes well past its price tag, and you know, it's just another thing that you've got in your garage, another thing that you own. You know, do you really need it? Is it a responsible thing to have? Does it suit your needs? I think that's the thing the question you need to answer. I discussed how efficient they are at burning wood, and the flip side of that is pretty much you can't build a fire any larger than what you can fit in the pit. So you can't drag half a tree on that's fallen over. You can't create an impromptu bonfire if you know you want to just crank up a massive fire. If you're trying to cater for 50 people and you've only got one fire pit, it's probably not going to be the fire pit for that. So, you know, where it's efficient also means that the size of the fire is limited. So, who are these best suited for then? Well, they're best suited for people that are car camping, vehicle camping, four-wheel drive camping, caravanning, vanning, etc. They have the added versatility of being able to set it up in your backyard, take it to your family's place, take it to a party, take it to a gathering, keep it in the car, keep it in the garage, it doesn't matter, pass it around, lend it to your friends. So if you're buying one for camping, you also get this versatility that it offers. If you're only using it at home, then there's probably much cheaper options and options that may be more decorative. If you go camping semi-regularly, but you also want that flexibility of using it at home occasionally, then maybe this is for you. If you're going camping with a pack on your back, then this is too heavy. Despite being mostly suited to vehicle-based camping, it's worth mentioning that these are suited to people from all lifestyles and all ages and all styles of camping. For example, they equally suit a retired couple that are touring in a caravan, just like they suit a young family loading up an SUV for the weekend, just like they suit an 18-year-old who's just bought a van and is going on a surfing trip. I think that's been the real key to their popularity and success in the Australian market, in that once you've bought one, it's something that will last you through however your camping changes, because campfires are such a central part of the way we camp in Australia. Given they'll last a long time, they'd be an excellent heirloom type investment for families where they can be shared and passed around between uses. It would be an excellent 18th or 21st birthday present too. Maybe a good idea for someone there. This is part 1 out of 3 videos that I'm going to make. In the following videos, I'll be doing a review of my fire pit, the Snowpeak fire pit, and talk a bit about the market in Australia. So what are the options on the market if you're looking to buy one? In the third video, I'll give my tips and tricks, having used one of these extensively now. I'll also go through my fire kit, so the stuff I bring along and keep close by to get the most out of this fire pit. So to summarize, I guess you would say these are incredibly durable and portable fire pits, and there's a number of pros. If those pros suit you and the way you like to camp, then I highly recommend something like this for your camping setup. If you've enjoyed the video or got something out of it, perhaps we're a good fit for more. Please consider subscribing to encourage me to make more videos like this one. Bye for now.